Viewers, it's a once-in-a-millennium event. After a 500-year-long wait, Hindus will witness the construction of a Ram temple at Ayodhya. A Bhumi Pujan is being performed on August 5th, which is Wednesday week, viewers, to flag off the construction under auspicious circumstances. Now, since these are corona times and social distancing rules cannot be compromised, the puja to reinstate Lord Ram, who was exiled from his Janam Bhumi, will be telecast on the national broadcaster. Because the national broadcaster has, of course, the greatest reach across the length and breadth of this country. Had coronavirus not been around, crores of Hindus would have traveled to Ayodhya to witness the ceremony firsthand. We perhaps wouldn't have even needed to telecast this. But viewers, the opposition is very upset that the Bhumi Pujan is being held in the first place and also telecast for the benefit of those Hindus who can't be there in person. Now, citing a threat to secularism and national integrity, the opposition says the telecast is an illegal stunt being performed by an allegedly Hindu supremacist government. Yes, viewers, you heard right. All those leaders, in some shape or the other, believe that this is a political act, the Bhumi Pujan, that this is being done by a government that is today trying to accrue to itself political glory, political points on the back of a Supreme Court verdict, that this government wants to make a song and dance of the Bhumi Pujan because it wants to score brownie points with the Hindu electorate. Those leaders, and let's just show those pictures, those leaders, viewers, are talking in these very, very polarizing terms. Now, one of them today, a member of parliament, Binoy Viswam, even wrote to the INB minister, Prakash Javadekar. And look at the accusations. They're on your screens. The first of them, viewers, is direct, that the Mandir mobilization has become a source of conflict and disharmony. That's not the graphic that we need to be firing. That's the one. Mandir mobilization has been a source of conflict and disharmony. That's the first point of objection, viewers, by this MP, who happens to be from the left parties. The second point of objection, the national broadcaster Doordarshan is founded on the principles of secularism, and therefore broadcasting the Ram Janam Bhumi Pujan will be violating those tenets. The third shocker, Doordarshan broadcast will be contrary to the accepted norms of national integrity. Viewers, any and every excuse is being used in secular democracy. Broadcaster must resist the attempt to politicize the issue. The government must resist the attempt to politicize the issue, ensure that the secular image of the state is not compromised. And the use of Doordarshan, the sixth point, viewers, the use of Doordarshan to telecast the religious event must be avoided at all costs. Listen in to some of the objections, viewers.
And why the broadcaster make a live broadcast of that? Let the national broadcaster make a news out of that. Publish that news in the bulletins of the national broadcaster. A live broadcast is something else. That means India is being attempted to make a country which is no more a secular nation. The secular content and the secular culture of India has to be protected at all means. That's why, as an Indian citizen, as a concerned citizen of the country, I have written letter to the concerned minister.
But viewers, here's a fact check. Here's a fact check for this lobby of, as they call themselves, conscientious objectors. Now, viewers, I want to direct your attention to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting's annual report of 2000 and 2001. There it is on your screens. These are not my words, viewers. These are the words of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, to whom the letter has been written by the left member of parliament. Now, what does this report state? It says very clearly, viewers, and I have this report and the required excerpt in my hands, page 14. It says, during Hajj period, a 5-minute bulletin is to be aired for the benefit of Hajj pilgrims. During the Hajj period, a 5-minute Hajj bulletin is going to be aired from Delhi for the benefit of the Hajj pilgrims. And this bulletin went on for a significant number of days, almost 3 months, viewers. At that time, no one asked the public broadcaster whether it was violating national integrity and the principles of secularism. No one asked, viewers, nobody. Nobody raised. So there is a precedent, viewers, and not just one. There are several others. And let me bring you the hard facts tonight. Even though there are people like Sharad Pawar who say that the Bhumi Pujan is a waste of time. There are other things to be done. Other priorities must take center stage. But in 1999, the visit of Pope John Paul II was covered on Doordarshan. He landed here in India, viewers. At that time, no one said that the Doordarshan broadcast was communal. In 2002, a 5-minute bulletin for Hajj pilgrims, never questioned. Look at the next fact. Bodhisattva festival was held in Delhi in 2014, never questioned. Iftar parties are also, of course, viewers, telecast, especially those that were held at the Prime Minister's residence on Doordarshan, never questioned. 2016, the canonization of Mother Teresa, a very religious event, was broadcast as a matter of pride under this government, not questioned. 2018, opening of Kartarpur corridor, again, a significant diplomatic achievement with regards to the Sikh community, not questioned. 2019, Jain festival, Mahamastakabhishekam. Last year, in 2019, not questioned. And today, viewers, when a once-in-a-millennium event is going to be held, and crores of Hindus who believe in Lord Ram will see their deity being given or restored his dignity. Remember, you tried, but you couldn't strip him of his divinity. But certainly, when his dignity is going to be restored, that moment they want blacked out, erased from the annals of documented Indian history. Don't put out pictures. Don't take lengthy telecasts. Why, viewers? Why? There are precedents after precedents. But when it comes to Ram and Hindu Astha, it becomes problematic. And I want to open this up because there is much more to be exposed. In just a few moments, we will be breaking another input, viewers, coming in from Maharashtra. And I want to ask, straight off the bat, a direct question to Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, tell me, you heard the statements. Lengthy statement been put out by an MP of the left raises several concerns. Do you think those concerns are frivolous, duplicitous, and most importantly, reek of a Hindu phobia?
Yeah, good evening, Rahul. You know, I don't expect the communists to be sensible, but this takes their lobotomized logic to another level. DD routinely, as you said, broadcasts religious ceremonies of all other religions, but then it is secular. The communist government runs and leeches billions of Hindu temples in taxes, but then it is secular. But broadcasting a momentous event for Hindus is communal. Let me explain. You see, this is a momentous occasion for a religious Hindu. A temple is going to be resurrected at what they believe is the birthplace for their more revered god. This is a once-in-a-millennium occurrence, as you said, barring the religion-ordained destruction of this temple as well by an invading tyrant, but little chance of that. And this is a momentous occasion, Rahul, also for all Indians, including Darwinian atheists like me. Momentous because when 1.3 billion left it to 5 to decide the fate of this temple, India wrote her history with the grammar of justice, not anarchy. Momentous because the murder and conversion of millions, the destruction of thousands of temples, the desecration of a way of life turned us into a people not aware of our own painful history and therefore constantly searching for answers, forever drowning in ridicule and self-loathing, feeling inferior, weakened, prone to division. Momentous because for 70 years we have been taught to forget historical injustices. From Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath, these injustices have deliberately been made visible as though to lionize the debasement, celebrate the humiliation. And the irony is that the same people who have taught us this, drilled this self-loathing in us, these same people want others to fight historical injustices around the world. They condemn barbarians of the West hitherto worshipped, like the Confederacy generals Rhodes, Churchill, Pizarro, Murray, Colston, Leopold. The left is celebrating their statues being brought down as we speak. But here in India, the same left eulogizes barbarians like Tipu, Aurangzeb, Babar, Khilji, but no more. A confident and just India will rise from the ashes of a meek and victimized one on 5th August. As one who believes in correcting historical injustice across nations, cultures, races and religions, I await eagerly for this day.
Well, let me ask Ashutosh, Babar, Khilji, Tippu, Pope John Paul II, all these leading lights of different times, places, continuums, all given pride of place in this country, not Lord Ram. What is your irritation with Lord Ram?
I think, Rahul, you are grossly mistaken.
Okay.
I think nobody has any disrespect for Ram.
Really?
And Ram is a part of our life. Ram is a cultural ethos of this country.
Yes.
You cannot write the history of this country without writing about Ram, without reading.
Yet you want to obscure every image of the deity. You don't even want the very important Bhumi Pujan to be telecast on Doordarshan. Why, sir?
No, who said that? Who said that?
The leftist said it. I have the letter right here.
Some obscure leftist.
No, there's no. He's a member of parliament. Don't be silly. Do you think obscure people sit in Parliament of India?
No, I think so.
500. You think so?
There are few obscure people. There are few obscure people who doesn't want to learn lessons.
Okay, sir, you are disrespecting the people who voted for this member of parliament.
No, it is not about disrespecting.
Yes, do you think the people picked an obscure individual that has nothing to do with the... No, and tell me something. No, one second. Let's get into this. You want to talk about obscurity. Is AMM boss Owaisi also obscure for you? Doesn't exist? Fringe element? No, I'm asking because even he has a problem. Let me tell you, the star cast of people who have a problem.
Rahul,
so CPI MP is an obscurantist. Uddhav Thackeray, better to have virtual Bhumi Pujan in Ayodhya, says the Shiv Sena boss, current Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Jayant Patil, focus on COVID, can build Ram temple later. Imtiaz Jalil, AMMM, time is not right for Bhumi Pujan Ayodhya, scrap it.
What is your objection, Rahul? Firstly, you have to make me understand that.
The objection is very clear.
No.
Every pretext is being used.
Let me say this.
No.
I think you do not.
Every pretext is being used to downgrade this event, which is of particular significance to Hindus. May not be all Hindus, but to a large number of Hindus. And what does it matter? Whether it's even to 10 Hindus or 1.
Let me complete. If you call me, then let me speak.
You asked me a question, I'm only responding to you, sir. You asked me what is your...
I'm responding. I think that none of your panelists know that I very closely belong to Ayodhya because my village is almost 40 kilometers from Ayodhya. So I know many things about Ayodhya that many people who are sitting on the panel does not know. The point here is very different. What is different is that if you are using this event for the political gains, for me, if I had been Mr. Modi, I would have taken an all-party delegation, all the president of the party,
right,
and would have said that the momentous event in the history. Let's talk about harmony.
Let's talk about harmony.
Consensus.
Let's talk about harmony. So him being at the Bhumi Pujan means that he's playing to a political gallery. Now listen to me, viewers. Look at the hypocrisy here. I'm going to show you instances of when the Prime Minister is graced. 1 minute. Allow me, sir. Don't always... No, you may know a lot about Ayodhya, sir. I salute you. But now listen to me. I want to ask you, When the Prime Minister was at the Sheikh Zayed Mosque in Abu Dhabi 2015, it was seen as a symbol of
Yes.
reconciliation. When he visited, and you can see those pictures, the Christian community, New Delhi
what is the issue?
2015, it was
Why
seen
can't he take Rahul
as a, no,
Gandhi? Why
listen,
can't he
allow
take
me
Sitaram
now,
Yechuri?
Mr. Ashutosh.
Why?
Mr.
Why?
Ashutosh, you can't be
Why?
selective today. You can't be selective. You can't say that the Bhumi Pujan is being organized. No, one second. That the Bhumi Pujan. One second. That the Bhumi Pujan. Arey, bolne to do, sir.
Why can't you take it? Why can't you take? Let's tell to the whole world that India, this is a momentous event. The whole country is celebrating this. So all party delegation symbolically should be there.
Rahul Gandhi demands. Has Rahul Gandhi
Listen, you tell me, all parties are saying that they don't want this event to be held.
No, not all parties saying.
Of course they are. At least 5 parties are saying it. Should I read out to you? Hussain Dalwai of the Congress. Listen to me. Now, wait, listen to me. Hussain Dalwai of the Congress put out his quote. What does he say? Nehru never attended the Somnath Bhumi Pujan. There is no need. Priorities are wrong. Sharad Pawar, construction of Ram Mandir will not even end Corona. So don't even construct the Ram Mandir. Put it in a museum, the model of it. These people don't want to even be there. There is Uddhav Thackeray. Better to have virtual Bhumi Pujan in Ayodhya. Do it on a computer. Do it on a computer. Forget it. Why do you do it on the spot? Let me bring up Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Yes, Rahul Ishwar wants to come in also. Rahul Ishwar, yes. Rahul Ishwar, yes, first. Before I bring in Sudhanshu Trivedi on the political point.
My grandmother is 85 years old. She doesn't know any politics regarding this. And she would like to thank, and she is eagerly waiting to watch this event in Doordarshan. Because Sri Ram is a part of our cultural ethos, our spiritual ethos, our very own civilizational mark. And it's unfortunate that people are finding some kind of excuses to be against it. Had our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, been alive, he would have been the happiest because it is some kind of reconciliation. Supreme Court brought out a very balanced verdict where Hindu side and the Muslim side have both been given some kind of share, and it is kind of settled. And we have, as Anand Ranganathanji rightly put it out, we have not gone into anarchy and we have accepted it, maybe with divergence of opinions. Right now it is a point where we should celebrate both. And unlike celebrating both, any Hindu event is branded communal and any non-Hindu event branded secular. This is the duplicity, double standards, hypocrisy. And
when the Ramayana was first telecast on Doordarshan, viewers, a large number of leftist historians came out and said, Marxist historians came out and said, Lutyens' elite came out and said, oh, this is the mainstreaming of Hindutva on national TV. That was what was said, viewers. Mahabharat was also painted in the same saffron colors. Come on, Ashutosh, you were there. You were a journalist back then. Do you think that was part of a Hindutva agenda?
It's not Hinduism. It's not Hinduism.
Let me go across. You see, at that time they said, look at the mobilization that is happening around Ram. Even on national TV now, they are mobilizing Ram. They're weaponizing Ram. They're weaponizing the great chant, Jai Shri Ram. All things are said, viewers. Now, wait a minute. Let me bring in Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, 3 charges. You are seeking political mileage out of this particular puja. The Prime Minister is only going to go there so that he can bask in the reflected glory of a Supreme Court judgment and flex his saffron feathers. And 3, Ashutosh says, very importantly, that why are we doing this at a time when the national attention should be focused on several other issues also? The timing is questionable. It's a distraction. Answer.
No. I did not talk about the distraction.
Okay, thank you for at least sparing us that. Okay, thank you.
Timing is good. I think the timing is good.
Okay, timing is not a problem for you. Timing is not a problem. The attendance of the Prime Minister and the telecast to suggest and send a political message is okay. Dr. Trivedi wants to respond.
Any leftist should not have any business to talk about temple as they call religions and opium. So they should not talk on opium.
They are the people whose minister in 2007 in West Bengal, transport minister, some Mr. Chakravarti, he performed the Kali Puja and he has to resign from cabinet. And these leftists go in the iftar parties. That is the secularism. And I also want to say They used to observe iftar when they do not observe Roza and they celebrate iftar. This is the sheer mockery of the Islamic belief. And second thing, Bhagwan Ram's picture is there in the original constitution on the chapter of fundamental rights. Mr. Vinay Vishwam would like to remove that. And the father of the nation's political vision, Mahatma Gandhi's political vision was Ram Rajya. His samadhi has written the word Ram. Hey Ram on the samadhi. This is utter disrespect to it. And if somebody is having any objection to have a live telecast, already you have given so many examples, but with due respect, I would like to say, when the canonization of Mother Teresa was telecasted, with due respect to her, I would like to say, what is canonization, you know? That after her death, her spirit should have shown two miracles. And it is written that the miracle should not have any scientific explanation. But the so-called rationalist, so-called scientific champion, the so-called leftist kept mum on an utterly unscientific but purely religious Christian belief. And it is thoroughly telecasted on the television and nobody is having no problem. And suddenly they are having this problem. And finally, I would like to say, why Prime Minister should go? Bhagwan Ram's temple is not the temple of one religion. South Korea's lady, she is not Hindu. She shares her descendancy from Bhagwan Ram. King of the Thailand holds title King Rama IX. They are not Hindu. The Indonesians perform Ramayana. They are not Hindu. The Hare Rama Hare Krishna movement in the West, they are not Hindu. There are a dozen countries where Ram Leela is performed. So Prime Minister symbolizes the entire nation's representation. So when after 492 years, the symbol of the eternal Indian moral values and the best moral values in the documented history of the mankind, why Prime Minister of India should not be there to represent the ethos and spirit of India?
Atikur Rahman, would you like to respond?
To see, Rahul, that even the Dravidian atheists today are under the influence of the opium of religion. So now if for some second you can come out of this intoxication of the opium, let us talk on facts. Why we are opposing that the government and the Prime Minister should not participate or it should not be on the Doordarshan live telecast. Number one, the Hindu case was so weak, Rahul, that the Supreme Court had to take the clutches of a very special provision in the Constitution to grant them this particular relief. Secondly,
Please
don't go there. They are in Gujarat 2000.
So you're saying that the verdict was fixed?
They were very much.
You're saying that the verdict was fixed? You're saying, Atikur Rahman, that the verdict was fixed?
Rahul, allow me to talk on facts.
Atikurji, chhodiye na please.
These are facts?
Hardly.
These are
Hardly,
facts?
Rahul. It's a fact.
Sir, this is a contemptuous statement. By questioning the integrity of the judges, by suggesting that they were discriminating, that they created... No, 1 second.
The same people who participate who are
सर जब आपका इफ्तार पार्टी चलता है नेशनल टीवी पे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं दैट्स ओके बिकॉज दैट इज कमिंग टुगेदर ऑफ वेरियस फेथ्स इज इट Okay, 1 minute. Ishkaran Bhandari, this was a daylight robbery, says Atikur Rahman. Daylight robbery that the justices of the Supreme Court had to construe an argument to award the Ram Janam Bhoomi to the Hindus because the case was so weak. This is what he's saying.
Rahul, I generally believe in Hanlon's reism that never attribute to malice what you can attribute to stupidity. But this is malice. This is naked malice to divide India and not believe in a Supreme Court judgment. Second point, I am astounded. How can a member of parliament be called as an obscure person? अंगूर खट्टे हैं, इससे बड़ा example मैंने अपने जीवन में नहीं देखा. And third, and a serious point here which I want to make is this, that this is not new. The fact sheet you have shown, and some of it was knowledge to me, that in 2002, NDA government, incidentally, was showing Hajj programs and nobody had a problem. We didn't even know it because it was not a big deal. it is not a big deal. Why is this being made a big deal? Because the mindset is the same. Last point. Don't interrupt. Let me finish my last point. Don't interrupt. Let me finish my last point. Because this mindset is the same mindset which did not want President Rajendra Prasad to go to inauguration of Somnath Mandir. This is the same mindset which destroyed the career of K.M. Munshi, a union minister, for helping in making Somnath Mandir.
Okay,
and
let me bring
they do not understand the importance of this live telecast, because India is a country, if you see a Aarti or if you see a Gurdwara coming, my parents, my mom gets up and does this, and Indian ladies, Indian men do it on TV. They are having darshan via this. You want to deny them this darshan? Shame on you.
Mr. Thakurta, Rahul Ishwar will take you on. Mr. Thakurta, tell me, this is what the Prasar Bharati... 1 second. Don't shout, Atikur Rahman. Don't shout. Relax. Prasar Bharati Act, Section 12, Clause 2D. I'm reading it. Providing adequate coverage to the diverse cultures and languages of the various regions of the country by broadcasting appropriate programs. That's a mandated activity. Then look at 2M. Promoting national integration by broadcasting in a manner that facilitates communication in the languages in India, the facilitation, distribution of regional broadcasting services in every state in the language of that state. Then it goes on to say, most importantly, providing suitable programs keeping in view the special needs of communities. All of this is there, sir. Informing and stimulating the national consciousness in regard to the status and problems of women also, of paying special attention to the uplift of women. There's a whole charter, and you can go on reading. And you have a problem?
I don't have a problem. I'm truly amazed, Rahul, that you are having a debate on this issue. I'm truly amazed. People can say what they wish to. The Bharatiya Janata Party believes in Hindu nationalism. The BJP's ideological parent happens to be the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, the RSS. It's purely coincidental that you share the same initials, but it's purely coincidental. But the question is, when Ramayana and Mahabharata was broadcast on Doordarshan, was it a BJP government in power? Answer, no. The question is, you should be asking
all the more reason
whether there will be...
You are now contradicting yourself. If it was kosher for so-called secular governments...
Give me
no,
half
1 minute. If it
more.
was kosher for secular governments to broadcast the story of Lord Ram, then why can't a puja under the BJP government be performed of the consecration of the site? No, 1 second. And thirdly, if Hajj bulletins could be broadcast, listen to me. If Hajj bulletins could be broadcast under an NDA government that you also accused of Sanskritizing and saffronizing curriculums and our history, then what are you talking about? The NDA, the same NDA, one led by the BJP, parent was also the RSS, according to you. But they had no problem showing iftar parties. They had no problems of telecasting the Pope's visit. What particular brand, sir, of opium are you on? That's the question I want to ask you. If religion and Hindutva is the opium for the masses, what brand of opium are you on? I mean, I'm asking you a question, reversing your logic. By that logic, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and let's go back to the graphic, should not have shown you, they should have blacked out the Pope's visit to India. Let's go back. 1999, visit of Pope John Paul II to India. I covered it for the Times of India.
Listen.
The same RSS backgrounded government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and you call him the destroyer of the temple, L.K. Advani, should not have telecast this. They should not have held a 5-minute bulletin. 5-minute bulletin. Oh, 1 minute. They shouldn't have held a 5-minute bulletin on the Hajj either. So what are you talking about?
Who is opposing?
Which? Shut him up. Shut him up, this disruptor. Put him down.
Do you want to?
Now,
1 second.
But Mr. What's your name? Guha Thakurta. Now you tell me. You explain this. The BJP government led by the RSS was open-minded enough to show the visit of the Pope but suddenly becomes communal now when it wants to telecast the Bhumi Pujan. Explain this contradiction.
Mr. RSS, I am not a spokesperson of the people who have. I happen to agree with Mr. Sharad Pawar, who says the Ram Mandir will not cure COVID.
Okay,
but I want to know,
organizing celebrations, big breaking news coming in. I knew you would raise this. Big breaking news coming in, viewers. Listen to this.
Don't shout me
Sharad Pawar has the time to sit and discuss with bureaucrats how to celebrate Eid in his state of Maharashtra. And they are questioning the Mandir's priority, and Thakurta, who is perhaps a very, very malleable mind, sees that as a national priority, or at least as a state priority for Sharad Pawar. So Sharad Pawar says, this is not the priority. Let's not, this Bhumi Pujan business during COVID is not our priority. But he sits in his state and he chairs a meeting, viewers, to discuss Eid celebrations and the contours of the Eid celebration. There's time for that. There's COVID also in Maharashtra. Have you forgotten? Let me go across to Kajal Iyer. Kajal Iyer, look at the way these individuals have been exposed. Before I come to you, yes, Rahul Ishwar, you want to make a point. You want to make a point.
This is the holy month of do al-Hijjah for our Muslim brothers, where there is Hajj, where there is Eid al-Adha. Let us celebrate everything. Is that not the real Indian pluralism? This skewed sense of secularism is the real problem. Our secularism is in essence pluralism, celebration and respect of every faith. Had Mahatma Gandhi been alive, would he have opposed this? But the entire secular lobby, which is pseudo-secular lobby, anti-Hindu lobby, has some kind of Hindu phobia. And one more thing. Satyam Shivam Sundaram has been etched in Doordarshan logo. Have you all forgotten this? We have all seen this as part of our childhood memories. The Doordarshan logo had Satyam Shivam Sundaram.
Rahul.
Now tomorrow somebody will say that Shivam again becomes communal. So what kind of Hindu phobia is this? Any kind of phobia is bad, but Hindu phobia in a nation like India is extremely wrong and unethical.
Before I bring in Kajal, we are being told that Mr. Pawar has recommended relaxations for Bakra Eid in Maharashtra. He's got all the time to focus on that during COVID times, but he tells the Prime Minister, don't visit Ayodhya on that day, because you see, COVID should be forefront in your thinking. So Kajal Iyer, tell us what exactly is going on in your state. You're reporting out of there.
In this particular meeting, Abu Asim Azmi, who was also part of the meeting and is a part of the alliance, he actually said that there was a consensus that was built in the meeting, that there should be some sort of allowance made for at least the Muslim-dominated areas where with a no objection certificate and some sort of social distancing, the Qurbani could be held in public. So this kind of a recommendation has been made during that meeting, but they have said that so far Uddhav Thackeray has not given it.
How long did that meeting last?
For close to an hour, they were discussing it.
I'm glad at least they found an hour to devote away from COVID to the concerns of the minority community. The Prime Minister will be also taking out a couple of hours of his time to address the concerns of the majority community during COVID times. Mr. Thakurta, you don't see the stunning irony in that? Or really the hypocrisy?
Mr. Rahul Shivshankar, when you give your panelists a chance to talk and don't only talk, I want to make 2 points. I hope Times Now will show this live, because often I felt that Times Now is more loyal to the Prime Minister than Doordarshan. So I hope you will also show it live. Please, this is a humble suggestion I have to give you. The second thing I want to ask you, if they haven't invited, I would seriously suggest, do you please tell your friends in the government, they should invite everybody, including the Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi. He also should be invited for the Bhumi Pujan. This is some suggestion.
Why Mr. Gogoi?
That's shocking.
Why Mr. Gogoi?
This is terrible.
Why Mr. Gogoi?
Why not? Why not all Rajya
No,
Sabha
why
members?
Mr. Gogoi?
Why not all Lok Sabha
Why
members?
Mr. Gogoi? Why did you name Mr. Gogoi? What is the special mention of
Why
Gogoi
not?
about?
He is the only former Chief Justice of India to become Rajya Sabha member. That's all.
Oh, okay.
He's a special person.
So are you suggesting that after he was chief minister, he did the government a favor by advocating a judgment in the favor of the Hindu community and then was rewarded. Are you suggesting that?
No. I'm not suggesting that. Don't
Then why are you naming him?
He was never chief
Come on,
minister.
at least have the conviction. Have the
He
conviction.
should, why not? Why?
Have the conviction to say
I am
what you want to say.
suggesting Everybody should be invited.
Don't be mealy-mouthed. Come on.
I hope
say
all
it with
members of
conviction.
parliament.
Say it with
I am
conviction
not-
that
I'm
the
very
reason you
stressed.
singled out Ranjan Gogoi was to cast a doubt on the judgment, right? Say it. Say it. Say it. Come on. Say it.
No.
But you somehow.
That's your words.
So this
Don't
is
put
character.
words in my mouth.
No. So this is character
Scared.
assassination by
Together with Mr.
insinuation,
Gogoi.
which is even worse.
No.
Which is even worse.
Scared.
Which is actually slander.
Wrong,
Okay. Let me
wrong,
bring
wrong.
it. Let me bring it.
Don't
Let
put
me bring
words
it.
in my
Okay.
mouth.
You made your 2 points, right?
Invite every
Your 2
member
points.
of parliament.
You made your 2
Invite
points.
every member of parliament.
Okay, every member of parliament. Fine.
You're so generous with your time with me.
Okay.
You're very
Let's bring
kind.
in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Anand Ranganathan, would you explain some facts to Mr. Thakurta? Because he never answers on facts. He couldn't answer. 4 questions I threw at him. Go ahead.
No, of course, and he is second only to WhatsApp in spreading rumors and lies. But Rahul, here's a question to you. I mean, do you have a conveyor belt up there? Astonishing how one dunderhead after another just keeps showing up. At least replace the conveyor belt with a travelator, right? The intervening pause will give us some respite. What is the kind of logic that is being professed first by Mr. Atikur Rahman and then this insidious insinuation on the ex-Chief Justice of India by your panelist? I mean, and he's scared to, when you cornered him, he's not even brave enough to say what he actually means. Look, the fact of the matter is what you explained in the first 5 minutes. This country is secular, but not for Hindus. For Hindus, there is a separate rule. For Muslims, there is a separate rule. For Christians, there is a separate rule. And for all other religions, there is a separate rule. And I don't want to get into a tangle with Mr. Atikur Rahman. Please give me 30 seconds because I know where he comes from. I want to argue with Mr. Rahul Ishwar, my good friend, who says that, look, all communities spread peace. So here are some few verses just for people, disbelievers like Mr. Rahul Ishwar. Chapter 48 verse 13, and whoever has not believed in Allah and his messenger, then indeed we have prepared for the disbelievers a blaze. Indeed, Allah has cursed the disbelievers and prepared for them a blaze. 33:64. The day their faces will be turned about in the fire, they will say, how we wish we had obeyed Allah and obeyed the messenger. 33:66. I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieve. So strike them upon the necks and strike from them every fingertip. 8:12. Those who disbelieve will have cut out from them garments of fire. Poured upon their heads will be scalding water. 20-19. So Rahul Ishwar, you need to read not only about Hindu religion and stop this BS and read about other religions as well. So please stop your BS.
Okay. 1 minute. Let me just step in here. Let's lower everyone's faders. As usual, Mr. Thakurta gets it wrong. As usual. Because Mr. Gogoi was not the only Chief Justice. Was not the only Chief Justice of India to become a member of Parliament. Ranganath Mishra, 21st Chief Justice of India, held office from 1990 to 91. Served as Rajya Sabha MP between 98 and 2004. P. Sathasivan, 48th Chief Justice of India, held office from 2013 to 2014, was appointed as the 21st Kerala Governor. So, viewers, I don't know, I don't like to use words like dunderhead, etc., but maybe I'm coming around to that view that there are certain people who don't have their facts. So,
I'll give you more examples.
So, Mr. Paranjoy Guha Thakurta, again spreading misinformation. Answer the question. I'm asking you the question. Let me come back to the question.
You never answered my question.
I'll answer your question, but I posed one to you which you did not take.
No.
Now let me ask you the question. Okay, someone wants to come in. Yes, Dr. Trivedi.
Thakurta said that Mr. Gogoi was a former judge and the Chief Justice became member of Parliament. But does Mr. Thakurta know there was a member of Parliament who became judge of the court? I am not member of Parliament nominated like Mr. Gogoi as a Congress member of Parliament. Mr. Islam, who resigned and became the High Court judge, High Court of Guwahati. And then again he was elevated to the
Absolutely right.
Supreme Court. Gajab ka tha bhai. Political party ka MP, and he is not just an MP of Rajya Sabha, he was a Lok Sabha candidate for Congress party. मगर ये याद नहीं आता जनाब, इकुर रहमान को नजर आता है कि ये गवर्नमेंट जो हुआ, it was under the
भूल जाते हैं,
it was not an isolated judgment on Sri Ram Janmabhoomi. Let me complete my submission. जब वहां मूर्तियां प्रकट हुई, December 1948, the started with the permission of the court. In February 86, Tana khula with the permission of court. In November 1989, Bhumi Pujan was done, Shilanyas, 9th November 89, with the permission of court. After demolition of the disputed structure in December 92, वहां पर मूर्तियों की पूजा makeshift temple में हुई with the permission of Supreme Court. In 30th of September 2010, the judgment of the Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court. ये सारे जजमेंट सेकुलर सरकारों के थे तो सही थे, और 9 नवंबर 2019 गलत हो गया. गजब है मान्यवर अतीकुर रहमान साहब, आपका ज्ञान और आपका कानूनी विद्वान.
Now let me tell you, Mr. Thakurta has still not responded. Look at the irony or hypocrisy. So Vajpayee and LK Advani, who is still deposing in courts in connection with the Babri Masjid demolition case, he described that as a big blunder, Himalayan blunder, mistake, cardinal mistake. Under him, we had the Hajj bulletins, and he was also seen as a mighty successor of the Savarkar ideology, the Hegdewar school of thought, great divider, Rath Yatra instrumentalist. But under them, there were iftar parties that were telecast, the Pope's visit was telecast, several other community cross-cultural events were telecast. But they were, of course, not communal. Modi, for telecasting the pujan, or at least the government's decision to do so under his watch, is thought to be communal because he is also of the RSS. But somehow, somewhere along the line, he has more communal poison in him than LK Advani and the others. I mean, just think about this, viewers. Look at the limited understanding of national politics, and these are our senior journalists. I don't know what to say. Ishkaran Bhandari, you were raising your hand.
Question?
You wanted to school. You wanted to school Mr. Thakurta on some other points.
Yes.
Please take the floor, because he won't answer.
I do not want to school him because he is deliberately spreading lies. But I want to tell the audience that Times Now platform should not be used for spreading lies by these people. They should be fact-checked then and there. He said Mr. Gogoi, Justice Gogoi, was the only judge. That is factually wrong. We had Chief Justice Hidayatullah, who got a big constitutional post. Then we had Behrul Islam, who before becoming a judge, don't interrupt now. Don't interrupt now. Who before, don't interrupt now.
He said exactly that. He said exactly that. He got it wrong. Egg on his face. Now, Ashutosh ji, don't go rushing to wipe it off.
Rahul, 1 minute.
Let me just put out facts, please.
Yeah. Ishkaran Bhandari, quickly, I need to move on. Yes.
Justice Behrul Islam was member of parliament, then a judge, and as a judge, one of his famous judgments was acquitting a Congress chief minister. And after the judgment, he again became a Rajya Sabha member. So what are these people talking about? Stop spreading lies on national channels.
Okay. We move on, viewers. We move on tonight. This has been an engaging debate, but you can see through the hypocrisy of our opposition and those who speak for them. The bottom line is that if you're a Hindu, you have no right to make a public showing of your faith. You can't wear the colors of your faith on your sleeves in this country because you will be seen from a Hindutva, rabid, communal prism. How sad it is. How absolutely sad it is that you have to overcompensate for being